Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. I am very happy to say I've reached 5,000 subscribers. For me, that is a very overwhelming amount. I never thought that I'd even have 1,000. So I'm very happy and very grateful to all of you who are now subscribed and those of you who are now watching. I see that there's many of you from the United States, I've seen New Mexico, California, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Jersey. I've seen Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama, I think Kentucky, and I'm sure I'm missing some, and I'm sorry if I missed you. I know there's been some people from Alberta, Canada, from the UK, very excited about that, Germany, and also Australia, and New Zealand. So I'm very happy. Thank you all very much for having left your comments, and thank you for liking my videos. I want to thank you by continuing a little bit more on this 2017 Christmas by giving you 12 days of Christmas. I will be doing 12 days consecutive of little crafts and little tips for your Christmas and holiday decorating. I will cap it off with a short little video of my home as I decorate it for Christmas. So again, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and Merry Christmas to you. All right, this is day 10 of 12 days of Christmas, and today I'm going to be doing some placemats for my dining room table. They're going to be very simple. I'm going to show you how you can just take some fabric and some trim and create something really lovely for your home. Now, it's all going to depend on how fancy you want your placemats to look. Now, you can find some placemats that are already made. Maybe you found some that have a print that you like, or they're a solid color, or they just happen to be well made and you want them, but you feel like they're a little too simple. Well, you can spruce them up, and we're going to be using some ribbons and we're going to use some trims to spruce them up. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you what you're going to need. Like I said, you're going to need some fabric, and I got these two fabrics here, and I'm going to be using these for something else, but I grabbed them to just show you an example of what you can grab. I've got some print, or I've got some solid, or like I said, get some placemats that are already made. And I've also got this burlap because I'm using burlap here and there in my home along with some plaid, and my husband really liked it, but I really like this one because it had this little deer in it. So there we go. And now, how much fabric do you need? Well, it's all going to depend on how wide you want your placemats. Now, usually the fabric is long enough here to make 2 placemats, but it's just going to depend on how much of fabric you want for your placemats. That you're going to have to figure out, because I don't really know the standard size for a placemat, to be honest with you, but I'm just going to make them the way that I want them to be. So that's what you'll do also. So just figure out if you want so much fabric to be the width of your placemat. Well, then just because it's folded, you know that you're going to get 2. Okay, so if you need 4, fold it, and then just tell the person that's cutting it for you, that's how much I want. If they have to sell you a yard, they'll go just a little bit extra and give you the yard, and then you just cut them whatever size you need. That'll get you 4, as you can see so far. Now, if you need 8, then get 2 yards of fabric, okay? All right, so let me tell you what trims I got to put on mine, because I thought it was really beautiful. I went to all these fabrics that I have here, by the way, they're all from Hobby Lobby. And I got this ribbon also from Hobby Lobby, and I grabbed it because it's already got some trim on it. See, there you go. Now, you can find some solid ribbon, like this grosgrain ribbon, which is not all that expensive at all, and you could just add some trims to it. And I'm going to go ahead and move the camera down because I want to show you what you can actually do. So let's get to crafting. All right, I was showing you this ribbon that I got because it's already got some trim on it, and that's why I happened to choose it. This was a $10 roll, and it's got 30 feet, which is 10 yards, which is a pretty good amount, but I grabbed 2 just in case because I also want to decorate my runner with it. And this is a 2.5-inch trim, and I think that's pretty much the widest you want to use to decorate the perimeter of your placemats. But if you want to go wider, that's fine. If you want to go thinner, that's fine. Now, let me go ahead and put this down so that you can see what I'm doing. You can also use some grosgrain, as I was mentioning, and you can just decorate that with some trim. Let me go ahead and just open up some trim. Now, what I'm showing you obviously is not what you're going to use. This is just an example of how you can combine things. You can put a trim on top of that, and I'll hold it up so you can see that. Let that hang. See how you can actually put a trim either right on the edge of it to make it more decorative, or right on top. That's how you can actually make this trimming a little more exciting, and you don't have to buy anything too expensive. You could also use something like this one. I like this one. This is like a little lacy one, and it's brand new. I haven't opened it up, so I have no idea where the end is. So I'm just gonna pull. Oh, there we go, I found it. It's a little lacy one. And that would also look pretty either on the edge of something solid, like this grosgrain ribbon. Of course, you would pick the color you want, or on top of it. Now, we could do that, or we can do another little ribbon, maybe something that has a little print. You could also get these little diamond wrap that you get from the Dollar Tree. That would also give it a little more of a decorative look. And I've got another one in another color, just to give you an example. I mean, I can pull out a whole bunch of stuff and just show you the things that you could use for that. Also, a nice ribbon like this, it's already got a little design to it. You could use something like that, and maybe even combine it with the grosgrain. Have grosgrain running on one side and maybe some on the other side, and there you've created a nice wide trim for your placemats. Okay, so let's get to making these placemats so that we can go ahead and have them ready for our table. All right, so as I told you, my fabric has a print on it. This is my runner. I got this on a roll. This is a decorative burlap, but I thought this is perfect for a runner. So I'm going to use that, and I'm actually going to decorate it also with that same ribbon, and I'll show you how I do that at the very end. So we're just going to take our placemats, or rather our fabric, because they're not a placemat yet. And what you want to notice is if you have a stripe or if you have a print, is you want to notice where you want the design of your fabric to go in your placemat. I have chosen this right here, this deer. And this is actually perfectly sized because I want to go from here to here. So I'm going to trim off this little bit. Now, I could make it a little wider and go this way, and then skip this design and go to the next row of deer to be my center of my next placemat. Okay, this is something how you're going to decide when you're in the store. Open up the fabric, look at the print, and decide where you want your pieces of placemat. Now remember, you're getting 2. So then that's another way you can decide how much fabric you're going to need to cut it out. That sounds very complicated, but if you just stand there and look at it, and even the person that's working there will help you out. So I decided that I want this little design in here, but I'm looking at it right now, and that's the way I was looking at it in the store, is I decided, you know what, I want this larger trim here. So I decided, well, I'm going to skip this deer and then go to the next one. So I ended up buying 2 yards of fabric instead to make 6 placemats. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to cut out, I'm going to fold it in half so it'll be a little bit easier to start cutting. And I'm going to start cutting. I've cut a little bit off here. I've already straightened it out because the whole edge was really crooked. And the girl was really nice to consider that and didn't measure the little extra bit that was there, because you know what, at Hobby Lobby, they measure it right perfectly. They don't give you no 1/8 of an inch extra or anything. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and open it up and cut along. And this little edge trim is actually going to get hidden by the trim that I bought, the ribbon trim. But I still want to get it, you know, as nicely as I can. So I'm just going to cut these 2, or this one long piece as an example. And right here where I folded, it was obviously a good measurement to tell me, you know, where I could actually have this. So I'm going to use my ruler. And I'm actually going to have some little leftover fabric because I don't feel like ironing, because I'm being lazy. Because I could take this and iron it and then just fold it right at the 18 inches and cut it there, or whatever inches I wanted, and then save this little scrap for something. But I'm being lazy, and I'm just going to trim off the ends of it. Okay, so I decided that 18 inches was a good measurement for the width of my placemats. And they're actually going to be a little wider because I'm going to put the trim. So I'm going to cut it at about that point. And I'm just going to move my, if you don't have a measuring stick, you can use your measuring tape to measure, or a ruler. And then you could just pin to mark where you're going to cut, or if you have a straight edge, you can just use a pencil and mark it, or a dry erase, not a dry erase, but an air erase marker that they use for fabric. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to cut this in half. So now I've got two. So I'm going to decorate one for you. It's really super easy. There we go. I got a little square. Okay, so now we want to put the trimming on our placemat. And when you're going to put the trimming on your placemat, it depends on how wide your trim is. So you're going to move, you're not going to put it right on the edge, but you're going to start off a little bit up, and you're going to go this much more the width of your ribbon. So you just want to make sure that, let's just make a little bit there, that this goes beyond at least the width of this ribbon, the trim when you're going to put it over here. Okay, so I'm going to go just a little bit beyond, and I'm just going to put a little dot of glue. I don't want a lot. I'm using my hot glue gun here, just a little bit at a time. And the reason that I'm doing that is because sometimes your hot glue gun, depending on the temperature around you, if you're in an area where it's really cold, or if you have a little fan working like I normally do, your glue will dry before you get that trim down, and then it's not actually sticking, and then you got to put more glue, and then you end up with a really bumpy trim. And look what I've done. I just told you to make sure that you go beyond, and look what I did. So I'm going to peel it off. What to do? Okay. And you saw that peeled off real easily. Why? Because the glue is still not quite. Okay, let's go beyond. Oh boy. The things that happen, and I'm not even going to edit that out, because you know what? Those things happen. They happen. They happen all the time, and they happen all the time to me. All right. Okay. I'm going to make sure that I also go beyond when I cut it over here. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing over here and the same to the sides. Again, I'm going to be leaving beyond. Okay? So let me go ahead and just get that done. Okay, so now I'm doing the other ends, and right here I just want to make sure that the ribbon is right on the edge with this one, and over here as well. So now I can go ahead and glue that down. I need some more glue in my gun here. And just make sure that I got glued down, because it did not. Okay, just glue it down to this point. Do not bother about gluing it down to this end. Just do it like that for now, okay? And there we go. Okay, so now what we want is we want to either have a really nice little fold like that, so we can get that little triangular mark, you know, on, you know, like you do on a frame. What is that, a 45-degree cut? So I'm just going to trim this one right on the measurement there. Let me go ahead and do the same over here. I'm going to trim that off. I don't need that. And the same on the end over here. Okay. Let me show you what I'm doing. So now I've got these two ends like that. So I'm going to fold right here on this end inside like a little triangle and get that. And then all you got to do is put some glue right on this edge and glue it down. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's make sure it's a nice little corner. I'm using my mouth to push that in. I'm going to put a little bit of glue over here just to grab the rest of that end there. Okay. And there you go. It's not perfect, but it looks really good, I think. So now I'm going to do the same to the other side. There we go. Let me go ahead and show you. There you go. You want them to be perfect. Like I said, when you're gluing this down, when you're gluing it down here, don't glue it going into it, just right before it. And see, I did, so I'm just going to peel it off. No big deal. I'm going to fix that. This is really bugging me. And now I can actually fold it right to meet up with this corner. And then I'll just peel off that glue. Don't worry about it, okay? There we go. And I'm just gonna glue it down back here also so I don't have those little bits. See this little flap here? This little flap back here? So it's not flapping around. I'm just gonna put some glue on it and push it down. And there we go. We've got a little 45-degree fold, and we're gonna go ahead and do that to the other side. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my other 4, and we'll be back. All right, I am back, and all my placemats are now completed. I've got 6 that I've done. So let me tell you more or less how much of the trimming I had to use. I had a roll of the ribbon that I was using, and it was 10 yards, and I ended up using 4 more yards of the other roll. So altogether I used 14 yards of trimming for each of my placemats. So here we go. I have finished gluing the ribbon down to the runner. All I did was actually put little dots of glue here and there. I didn't completely glue it all down because it is burlap. And then I was going to have some of the glue oozing out and getting all over my counter, which it actually already has, but I can just take that off. No big deal. But just so that you know, you can just put little dots of glue because this is a burlap runner, or depending on what runner that you might have, or just some fabric. If you just put little tiny little dots of glue just to hold down the ribbon, you can actually just pull it off. And if that particular runner is actually usable for another holiday, like I think mine, because it's burlap, I can use it in the fall, I can use it in the spring, in the summer, and then just spruce it up with some ribbon. So I can just pull this off and put another one on there. So just keep that in mind. And if you're wondering how long my runner is, I measured it and it's about 2 3/4 yards long. So I had 20 yards of ribbon. I used 14 for my placemat, so I happened to have 6 left over, which was just enough for this. I had a little tiny piece left over, and I'm glad that I at least had enough to do everything I have. Now, a lot of runners are actually a little bit shorter. Some of them don't even hang off the table, so it just depends on how much you have. So just keep in mind that if your runners say maybe 1.5 yards long, you know, then get 3 yards of ribbon because you'll need 1.5 here and 1.5 here. All right, so there you go. There's my beautiful runner, my beautiful placemats. I think they're beautiful. Let me know what you think. I hope you were inspired to create something out of basically just some fabric and some ribbon. And leave me a nice comment down below. Give me a big old thumbs up. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I'll do some shout outs in the next video because I have one more. And then, of course, I'll be doing my house tour. And we're almost done with our 12 days of Christmas. So these are just little last minute little tips and details to show you. All right. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I want to thank everyone who has already done so. And please share me on your social medias. And as always, enjoy.